The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, staff, management, or advertisers.
Coming to you on stations coast to coast, it's the Makin It radio show with your hosts, self-made millionaires Tommy Runfola and Todd Williams. Tommy Runfola, founder and president of one of America's top technology, consumer products, and media companies. Author, investor, and National Entrepreneur of the Year nominee. Tommy has worked with 5 U.S. presidents and vice presidents. Todd Williams, founder and CEO of Inc. Magazine's 2013 fastest growing food and beverage companies in America. A former NBC TV personality and Harvard Business alumnus. Makin It is the source for success stories and in-the-trenches information that outlines a roadmap to the American dream. And now, here's Tommy and Todd.
Welcome, America. This is your favorite entrepreneurs, Tommy and Todd, coming to you coast to coast on Makin It. And do we have a show for you today? But first, let me introduce my main man, Mr. Todd Williams.
What's up?
Say hello to all the good people in the US of A, Todd.
Well, they're good people, I have to say that.
They are. So, Todd, let's get down to business a little bit. We have a special show today with some very special guests that I've been looking forward to interviewing for months now.
We got them.
Yeah, and we got them finally. They're very busy, and so are we, but we finally made the connection. One of our guests today went to that school called Yale, and everybody knows that you went to Harvard. Now, at Harvard, were you in the business program or the drama program? I always get that confused with you.
It was very dramatic going to business school. So.
Okay, all right.
The test scores.
Well,
the studying, drama,
Amy Port,
business school.
Amy Port, one of our guests today, went to Yale at the School of Drama. So, Todd, why don't you introduce our 2 very talented guests today, and let's get on with the great interview.
Well, our guests today are true triple threats. They act, speak, and run a super successful business. First, we have Micheal Port. He was once a professional actor, having received his MFA, Masters of Fine Arts, from NYU's graduate acting program, guest starring on shows like Sex and the City and Law and Order, and in films like The Pelican Brief and Down to Earth. These days, Micheal can be seen on MSNBC, CNBC, and PBS as an on-air expert in communication and business development, and as the host of the most popular podcast on public speaking and performance, Still the Show with Micheal Port. Micheal Port is the founder of Heroic Public Speaking and has written 6 books, including Book Yourself Solid and Still the Show, the latter which, according to the former president of Starbucks, might be the most unique and practical book ever written on the topic of public speaking. His books have been on the bestsellers list of the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and Publishers Weekly, and have been selected by Amazon and 800 CEO Read as best books of the year. We also have Amy Port. She's a professional actress, graduate of the Yale School of Drama, as you mentioned, and co-founder, president, and COO of Heroic Public Speaking Worldwide. Amy was up for the role of Grace in the hit TV show Will and Grace. Micheal and Amy, welcome to the Makin It with Tommy and Todd show.
Hi there.
Thank you very much.
Hi there, Amy and Micheal. Great to have you. This is Tommy again. And so let's really dive into this. Give us the quick and dirty version of how you guys went from being TV, movie, and theater actors to becoming entrepreneurs.
Whew, that's a tough one. You know, the life of an actor is lovely if you're working as much as Tom Cruise or George Clooney is working. But, you know, we were what you'd call working actors. Yeah. And we made a living acting. We weren't doing other jobs. Amy was very successful in the top regional theaters around the country doing Shakespeare, etc. But at least for me personally, I hated the lifestyle. You know, I was somebody who wanted to make stuff happen. And as an actor, you've got to go in and wait for other people to give you jobs. And that just didn't fit with my DNA. So for me, the business side of it at that time in my life wasn't for me. And, you know, Amy's story is a little bit different, but some similarities.
Yeah, for me, the piece of being successful meant that you were on the road all of the time. I think this is one of the reasons that we see for so many very successful people, sometimes having successful personal lives is the harder part in this industry. And for me, I knew I wanted to have children. I knew I wanted to have a family. And I would spend years away from seeing my apartment, let alone a loved one. So we made those shifts, and we both moved into other businesses for a time, and now have taken everything we learned about performance, about being on stage, and about speaking up, and are bringing that to a population of non-actors, people in the corporate world, people who have something important to say, and helping them bring the skills and the toolbox we have to that work.
Were you always interested in being in business, or did that just come out of the fact that you realized you needed a lifestyle change?
Well, I was always interested in business. In fact, I was in business in high school, not legally at first, but I mean, I was throwing parties in high school by renting out loft spaces, getting kegs, security, DJs, the whole 9 yards. We would set up a whole network of promoters around the private schools in New York City. They each get their own color invitations. They get $5 for each invitation that came in. We get 15 on the cover charge, and we were making $5,000 cash every weekend that we were throwing these parties.
Wow!
It was beautiful until we got arrested, because apparently that's an unlicensed bottle club. Now, I didn't know at the time. I was just a young lad. So we wised up and we said, you know what? Let's not take the liability on ourselves. Let's go to clubs that aren't doing well. We'll say, listen, we'll just bring people. We'll promote for you. And then we did quite well. My friend, actually, that I did it with now is one of the biggest promoters in the world, and of course produces movies, because I think that's what you do after you're a nightclub promoter. I left and went on to college, so I didn't stay in the business. But from day one, I always thought like an entrepreneur.
Wow. We always talk to our audience about books that they should read. Michael, you have a great book that I've read called Stealing the Show, or Steal the Show. I believe it's a must-read for anyone who's either going to speak in their jobs or professionally or any other way. Tell us a little bit before the break about Steal the Show, and we can pick up with it when we get back.
Absolutely. Steal the Show is about playing the right role in any given situation. Because if you want to do big things in the world, you've got to shine when the spotlight's on you. Right. And if you don't, then you fall flat. So the biggest players are the best performers. Hopefully they're authentic performers, but we've got to know what role do we need to play in any given situation, and how do we play that role authentically and effectively.
Great. When we come back, we're going to get more into playing the right role in life and in business. You listen to Tommy and Todd on Making It, Coast to Coast. We'll be right back.